What's up? What it do? How you doing? I am back with another video. Today, EandE family, I'm showing you how to make zucchini bread. Don't go nowhere. So zucchini bread is one of my all-time favorite fall, I guess you can call it a dessert. You can have it with coffee, you can have it with tea for a snack. So that's what we're going to get started on today. So in the bowl of my stand mixer, I have 2 sticks of room temperature softened butter. To my butter, I'm going to add 2 cups of granulated sugar. So we're going to get our paddle down in our mixer, and we're going to mix this up just like we would for our cakes until it is a light and fluffy consistency. So for about 2 to 3 minutes. So our butter and sugar has been creaming together for about 3 minutes. Next, we're going to add 3 room temperature eggs. And as always, EandE family, if you don't feel comfortable cracking your eggs over the bowl, crack them in a separate bowl so that you can look for any shells or imperfections. So that is 3 room temperature eggs. Next, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Next, we're going to add a cup of unsweetened applesauce. And if you use, if you buy these, it would just be 2 of these. But if you have a jar, just measure it out into your 1 cup measuring cup. So that's 1 cup of unsweetened applesauce. Next, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. It's going to help maintain the moisture in your zucchini bread. So we're going to get our paddle back down in our mixer, and we're going to combine this until everything is well combined with our butter and sugar. So for about 2 to 3 minutes. So next, we're moving on to our dry ingredients. And we're going to start with 3 cups of flour. I would not use cake flour for this, guys, because I don't know how that would turn out. So we're using our regular all-purpose flour for this. So that's 3 cups of flour. So next we're going to add a teaspoon of salt. We're going to add a ½ teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to add a teaspoon of baking soda. We're going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon, and we're going to add a ½ teaspoon of nutmeg. So we'll get this down into our, sifted down into our wet ingredients. So next, I have some pecans here that I chopped up really fine that I'm going to add to the bowl. You could add walnuts instead if you like walnuts. You can actually omit the nuts if you have a nut allergy or you don't want nuts in it. But typically zucchini bread has some type of nut, and pecans for this is my nut of choice. So I'm going to add that in. So next we're going to chop up our zucchini. So this was a fairly large zucchini that I had. So I just chopped it up, and I'm going to put it in my food processor. I don't peel it. I put everything in here the way it is. And you need about maybe 2 cups of zucchini. So we're going to get this in here and get this chopped up in our food processor. You can also take your zucchini and grate it. That, however, would take a long time, and I kind of don't want big pieces of zucchini in my zucchini bread, so I'm going to do it this way. So let's get started chopping this up. So let's check and see what it's looking like. I'm going to take my spatula and do like this because there's some pieces that didn't get cut up in here. So I'm going to push those pieces back down like that. Oops. And then we'll get the pieces that didn't get chopped up. We'll get those chopped up in here. Okay, so this is how you want your zucchini to look. And we are not going to strain the juice off of it. So I'm going to measure out 2 cups of our almost pureed zucchini. And actually, we're just gonna add what we have in here because I know that it's 2 cups, okay, y'all? So we're gonna get all this added in. So we have our bowl back on our mixer, our paddle back on. We're ready to mix up our ingredients. We're gonna get our paddle back down in our mixer, and we're just gonna mix all the dry ingredients, the pecans and zucchini, until everything has been well combined. So for about 2 to 3 minutes. As always, you don't want to overmix, because when you overmix, it will cause for a tough zucchini bread. So 2-3 minutes max. So I'm using my loaf pan to cook this in. I sprayed it down with a little Baker's Joy flour and oil in a can. Makes it easier for you. And I always like, no matter what I'm baking, like to take my spatula, make sure we got everything from the bottom. And the only thing left to do, y'all, is to add our mixture into our pan. And this is what your unbaked zucchini bread should look like. So I'm going to bake this in a 335-degree oven until a toothpick in the center comes out clean. When we come back, we're going to make a honey butter to accompany our zucchini bread. You don't want to miss this. Y'all don't go nowhere. So next, we're going to get started on this honey butter. So I have 2 sticks of room temperature softened butter. You don't have to use 2 sticks. The amount that you need, you determine the amount of butter you need and you use that amount of butter. But I'm giving some of this to my dad. So I got 2 sticks of room temperature softened butter. You definitely want your butter to be very soft when you do this so that you can manipulate it. So I'm going to get my spatula down here. Hopefully you can see this, but if you can't, I'm going to get my spatula down here like this and just kind of work the butter around a little bit like that. So to my butter that I've worked a little bit, I'm going to add a little honey to it. The amount you want determines the amount of sweetness you want. I'm going to add about that much. So that might be about a teaspoon of honey. And I'm going to mix the honey in my butter. And next, I'm just going to add a pinch of salt like that. I am using salted butter, but when you add that honey to it, to me, you need to add just a pinch of salt to balance everything out. So I'm going to work that in. And that's it, y'all. Honey butter. So simple, so easy. You'll want to do a taste test on this to make sure that it's the right amount of sweetness for you. But I've made it several times, so I know the amount of honey that I use is perfect for my palate. But you do a taste test to see how much honey, or if you need to add salt. You also use unsalted butter if you don't like using salted butter. But salted butter is my butter of choice. Y'all been here before. You already know what's going to happen. When we come back, we are going to get a taste of this amazing homemade zucchini bread and our homemade honey butter. You don't want to miss this. Y'all don't go nowhere. Look how amazing that looks. And yes, baby, I spreads the butter, okay? You want to be generous with your butter. Because why? Everything's better with butter. But that's our honey butter on our zucchini bread. Looks amazing. You already know. And I can't even front this time, y'all. I was munching before I came back. I'm just going to give me a little butter. And put it on the bread the zucchini bread I was already eating. It is so amazing, so delicious. It's moist. You can taste the cinnamon, the nutmeg. Really, really delicious. That applesauce and the vegetable oil we added, gonna give your zucchini bread a level of moisture that is gonna keep you a little while. So good. Try this out. Your friends, Your family, they're gonna love this. As I always tell your EandE family, I promise you will not be disappointed. And that's it for today, EandE family. Like, share, comment on this video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification so that you can be notified when a new video is uploaded. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The links are in the description box below. And as always, EandE family, don't forget to live a little and love a lot. Y'all be easy. Try this out. I promise. You know I don't steer y'all wrong. Bye, y'all.